certainly a team that can shoot the ball from deep. Just for you, is this kind of a measuring stick of how far this defense has progressed and, you know, what they're capable of Thursday?
Yeah, Alabama does a great job scoring. I think they've got some shooters, but they take good threes. They do a great job getting downhill to the basket as well. Have a nice post player that can score. They're playing really, really well on the offensive end. I mean, just putting up a lot of points from a lot of different ways. You know, they've got a go-to player in Barker, and they'll be tough to guard.
Looking back 3 games of Juel Spear, what do you think has really sparked what she's been able to accomplish in those last 3 contests?
Well, I think Juel has broadened her game, and I think she is playing with great confidence right now in all aspects of her game, and I think that's been a huge difference. You know, she's not just settling, she's not one-dimensional, and when she steps on the court, she's being very aggressive.
Did you feel like there was a moment before this 3-game stretch where you were just like, you really thought it was going to click for Juel?
You know, I'll be honest with you, I've had high expectations for her all season. You know, I know how good she is, and you know, she just needed to have some experience and find that confidence at doing what we're asking her to do. And you know, I've had a lot of confidence in her, so her playing really well right now doesn't surprise me.
It's definitely not easy for a shooter to kind of go through the struggles she had earlier in the season. Just what impressed you about the way that she was kind of able to stick in there and embrace the process through that? And as a coach, what does it mean to see it pay off like it is right now?
Juel wants to be good, and she's going to do whatever she needs to do to give herself an edge in that area. You know, whether that's watching film, whether that is getting in the gym, shooting extra, you know, asking questions, just working on her mental game. I mean, just she's ready to utilize every resource she has, and I think that's somebody that's very dedicated to being successful. That to me is what was fun to watch.
When you have Juel playing like she is, how much easier does it make it for Rakia or Sarah to score on the offensive end?
Yeah, I think anytime you have multiple players that can step up and score, I think it takes pressure off of teammates, and you know, I think it causes some problems for the opponents. They have to make some decisions. Typically, you get a little bit better balls, get a little bit better spacing on the court when you have multiple attacks, and you know, I think that's what we've seen when Juel's scoring, Rakia's scoring, our poster scoring, guards. I think it's a snowball effect at times.
Sarah Puckett put in a lot of work off the court when it comes to her confidence and mental toughness. Where do you see that aspect of her game shining during games?
Yeah, I think Sarah's grown a lot in a lot of ways that don't show up on the stat sheet. You know, she's a very intelligent player. She is a hard worker. I mean, she gets in the gym and shoots extra a lot. She's one of our hardest workers in the weight room, and I think that's carried over. But it's been nice to see her also work really hard in other areas, and I think her toughness is growing, and that's really exciting.
Jasmine Powell has been dishing out assists left and right over the last couple of contests. What's made her so effective in being able to do so?
I think Jasmine's also playing with great confidence. I think she's playing downhill. She's being aggressive. She looks comfortable on the court, and I think that has been really good for our team. She understands our offense. She understands where the ball needs to go, and has done a really good job of getting it there.
Has there been any transition you've seen with Jasmine Powell going from maybe not having to score every possession to looking for more assists?
No, I'll be honest with you. I wish Jasmine would look to score a few more times than she does. I think she's, I think she is really good at dishing, but I also think she has the ability to get to the basket, and it's a need for our team. So I think she's got to make sure that she doesn't just settle in and be a pass-first point guard. I think she also has to look to score.
How hard is it to find that balance between scoring and also wanting to pass and run the offense?
Yeah, I think for her, I don't think it's difficult. You know, I think she has a pretty good feel for what we're doing. It's just every now and then you just need a reminder, you know, that she can do those things for us. And she usually does a pretty good job of taking what the defense gives her. What I'd like her to do is, you know, maybe poke it a little bit and see if she can get something good. So we'll continue to work with her on, you know, finding that balance.
Alabama seems to be playing with a little bit of momentum as of late. Their coach just got win number 500. What's the challenge of playing against a team that is kind of catching some wind?
Yeah, they're playing really well right now. You can watch them on the court and see kind of a little swagger about them, and they carry themselves a little differently. And I think they have a lot of confidence. The momentum that they've gotten from the previous games, I think, has been really good for their psyche. They've been down in games, came back and won. I think that's been really good for their momentum. So they're playing with a lot of confidence. You know, the challenge is, you know, those top teams don't go away. You can't shut the door on them early and just assume they're going to be done. You know, you've got to play for 40 minutes and understand they're coming in hot. They're coming in ready to go.
Going back to Jasmine, this has been her most consistent stretch in terms of playmaking. Do you feel like that's kind of been a product of the offense kind of hitting its stride at the same time? Has she been more of an influence in the offense hitting its stride? Just what that consistency, where do you kind of see that fitting in?
Yeah, I think the consistency's been a lot of reasons. I think one, our offense is playing well. I think Jasmine is a big part of that. I think our pace has been good. Again, Jasmine has been a big part of that. We've had some individual players play really well offensively recently. So I think just the comfort that everyone has right now is twofold. You know, I think part of it starts with Jasmine, part of it starts with the offense, and then hopefully, you know, it's a compound effect.
Juel coming in from the transfer portal and Tamari getting back to 100%. The way the offense is running right now, is this kind of how you imagined it in August and September?
Yeah, we felt like we could be a really good offensive team. Obviously, it takes all your pieces clicking. And don't get me wrong, there are some things that we can continue to work on and get better at, and I know that. But we felt like we had a lot of different pieces that could work well together. And I think we've seen that the last few games.
The starting lineup that you've had the last 2 games, what do you like the most about the fire that it's given you guys right off the gate?
I think, you know, just having Tamari in the game early has been, we've seen our opponents focus in on her, whether that's been the offensive end or the defensive end. We've seen some shifts there to start the game. I just think right now she's playing with good confidence. I think her teammates are really looking for her, and I think it's been a good, smooth transition.
With Tamari,
Go ahead.
With Tamari starting, you have Caroline coming in off the bench. What do you think she brings in that new role?
Caroline, yeah, she still gives us great energy. She's been very positive. You know, she can stretch the defense. She was plus 24, I believe, in our last game, in our plus minus. So she played really well when she was on the court. I think she's very vocal when she comes out there, which really helps us defensively in a different way than Tamari might help our team. So I think, you know, Caroline's role has not changed. We still need her to be her best coming off the bench. And you know, her skill set and her personality hasn't changed.
Sarah Ashley Barker has a bit of a hot hand right now, 3 consecutive games of 20-plus points. What's the plan to slow her down, or how much is she involved in your all's game plan?
Well, she is definitely their go-to player. She is playing some excellent basketball. She's playing with great poise, but aggressiveness as well. She plays so hard and so physical. She's a competitive player. She's versatile. She's shooting the heck out of the ball from the 3, but she's probably more so getting layups, getting to the basket, and she rebounds well. So she's going to be a handful to guard. We're going to have multiple people guarding her throughout the game.
You guys are about to head into like your toughest stretch of SEC play with 2 matches with South Carolina, LSU, Texas A&M again. Just from what you've seen in the first half of SEC play, what do you feel like could be your guys' edge in terms of, you know, what could put you ahead in those games?
Right now, I think our players have understood our game plans really well. You know, we'll continue to take it one game at a time. I think this team is they've shown the ability to take a game plan, go out and execute that game plan. That's been a big plus for us. You know, like I said earlier, we've had a good pace. I think our pace is a positive thing for us. Keeps us aggressive. I think we're pretty good when we're aggressive. And I also think that we're willing to continue to get better. I think we're willing to grow, and I think we have to at this point. I think we've stayed pretty poised. I think that's been a big positive for us in games that we've been behind or in games that we've been ahead. I think regardless of the momentum shifts and swings, I think we've been pretty poised and consistent, and that's a really good trait when you're in the SEC.
What do you like the most about when Rakia and Juel are on the court together?
You know, I think Juel gives you the ability to stretch the defense. You've got to guard her behind the three-point line, but she has shown the ability to put the ball on the floor and score at 3 levels now. Obviously, Rakia can give you a inside-outside presence. You know, she's a playmaker. I think people are going to key in on both of those players. And I like that then maybe we have some other players that can step up and make plays in between. So, you know, I love the fact that they've been consistent with a lot of different defenses thrown at them.
I think something that sticks out about Sarah is, you know, regardless of how much she's scoring a night, she's been so consistent in other areas, and I feel like Sunday her defense was really, really strong, off ball, on ball, really active. Just what stands out to you about, you know, her ability to impact the game on the defensive end recently?
Yeah, I think she has improved in other areas. You know, her toughness. She can go get rebounds. She did have a lot of deflections in our last game. I think she's been more aware and more active off the ball. I think she's moving her feet better on the ball. So we've seen a lot of improvement there, and I think that's really good for her. Because when she's out there, she gives you good size. You know she's going to be able to knock down threes on the other end. So, you know, to find positives on both ends of the court is really important.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.